Good evening. On a Thursday night, we have a great session and podcast for you. I'm Kat, this is Buckets, and our dear friend Leon. Hi, how are you?
I look a lot more bigger now because I changed my resolutions on my screen. So that way, instead of having this whole gigantic background and only a small, thin me, that doesn't represent me literally because
So it's not the
I'm a fat
lasagna,
bloke. So
it's
there you
just
go.
So it's not the lasagna, it's just legit. You just zooming in.
So,
Oh, mate, I haven't had
welcome-
lasagna in ages, man. I'm going to have some lasagna tomorrow night now.
I want to welcome our new and current subscribers and viewers. So tonight's topic is going to be laid back, chill, fun. Tonight we're talking about virtual holidays. So let's get started. Since the world is in a pandemic and international and domestic flights aren't happening for the next 2 to 3 years, virtual holidays are the next big thing. What would that look like in the future? Virtual reality headsets. The first question is virtual holidays the way of the future? Leon?
I hope not, because there's nothing better than going to a place, first-hand experience, not second-hand experience, aka a virtual tour. I would rather be feet on the ground where I'm going. So that's me. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic, as you said, that's out of the question right now. So I suppose we're just going to have to do virtual stuff. I'm going to be doing something virtual tomorrow morning by tuning into virtual YouTube to watch this virtual ABBA special at 2:45 a.m. tomorrow, virtual morning.
But do you think that this is the way of the future? Buckets.
Yes, sadly. I mean, look, there's nothing I would like more than to basically go to the Blue Mountains and or go to Jenolan Caves and climb and see all the beautiful crystals in Jenolan Caves.
I've been to Jenolan Caves.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. But
when was the last time you went to the Blue Mountains?
The last time, this is funny. See,
Yeah.
I used to live in Penrith, right? And Blue Mountains really was like 2 stations away from me. But even though it was only 2 stations away from me, I hadn't properly visited the Blue Mountains 3 years ago, for real.
3 years ago. Okay. Well, the last time I was there was over 10 years ago. That was a lot more fun when you're at the Blue Mountains and you go down the scenic railway. It starts up like this and it just does a straight drop down. That scares the living you-know-what out of me.
What I'm trying to say.
When was the last time you've been on a scenic railway? Have you been on it?
Yeah, I have, and it's actually
scare the crap out of you when you're going straight down.
What I found funny about it was the fact that it actually had the Indiana Jones music when you go down.
Oh yeah, it does too. I forgot about that.
And the other thing it had was they actually have something called, I know I'm getting off topic, but they actually have something called Falls Road, and my brother had an ex-girlfriend that was actually Irish. And if anyone knows what Falls Road is, that's legit the divide between Northern Ireland and the other Northern Ireland and the Catholic side of Ireland. We brought my brother's ex-girlfriend and her 2 brothers. And the first thing they said was, oh my God, they actually have a Falls Road kind of thing. I can't believe they got a Falls Road. But yes,
we're not really getting off topic. We're still staying on topic. We're still talking about virtual tours and stuff.
I'd be nice if they did a virtual tour of that, with the Indiana Jones music intact. So yeah,
I have to start checking YouTube now to see if they've actually done that.
Anyway, let's going back to your question because we're getting off
topic. What about you, Kat? What about you, Kat? About virtual tours?
Sadly, as Buckets would say, I strongly agree with the idea that virtual holidays are the way of the future, because even though we're in a pandemic and going to be in a pandemic for the next few years, whether you're fully vaccinated or not, virtual holidays are something that I think companies are probably now investing in to work on. And because we can't pack our bags and save up money and pack our bags and go to, say, America or Canada or Italy or Paris or wherever, I think virtual holiday is where you put on the VR headset and you get that escapism. It's so real that even when you put your hands out to feel things, it's like you're actually there. So it's like, imagine putting on your virtual reality headset and you're about to board a plane and the stewardesses go, welcome aboard Boeing, blah, blah, blah. welcome, and the captain welcomes you. You sit, you feel the plane taking off, and then you arrive at your destination. You go to your hotel, and you sort of, even when you're standing in your home, and you go to like a beach or museum or a park or somewhere, a theme park, it feels like you're actually standing there, and you can see things, and you can interact with people, and it's sort of, is it the way of the future? I think so.
I don't know if you remember this, but like you had a Nintendo 64, and
No, I never had one. Anyway, go on.
but if you wanted the extra effects of being shot or shooting other people, right, you could actually get rumble packs which would vibrate the controls, right? So if you had sort of like a vibrate pack or something of the like, and then attach it to your head or your fingers or arm, just like what you've got.
There you go. There you go. Get a controller like this. This is basically an Xbox controller, but it works on a PC.
But it
And it
wouldn't really,
vibrates.
it wouldn't really be that hard to actually feel the material of things, feel the vibration of cliffs, feel the vibration of signs, feel the vibration of plants, if it was properly upgraded. So even though you're not physically going there and touching the plants, touching the fauna, touching the rock, I could imagine that there would be a way to kind of create it instead. So I could actually see the potential of that in the future.
Next,
Wouldn't that be hang on, wouldn't that be funny, right? If you have you both had your virtual headsets on, and you got the scenery and stuff like that, and you're feeling something squishy and stuff like that, like you think it's Jello, and next thing you know, you're taking your virtual headset off, and you've actually grabbed the boob by accident.
Well,
That'd be amazing. That'd be like the worst sexual harassment lawsuit in history.
I think
It wasn't my fault. It was the virtual headset.
Well, what happens when one person has a virtual headset and another person has a virtual headset, and then you bang into each other accidentally? I mean, do you feel the virtual vibration of basically banging into someone else?
You both not only virtually fall on your asses, you actually legitimately fall on your asses too, and you take your headset off and realize that you're face over Apex.
Wow, this is the most virtual reality I've ever felt, banging into another person. It actually feels real.
Hey, you know what I did see one time? You know what I did see one time? I saw a bit of footage on YouTube, right? Literally, some lady had a virtual reality headset on, was actually behind the wheel of a real car and driving, and actually crashed into another car, and all of a sudden you can hear her swearing. Like, what kind of stupid person are you? Take the virtual reality headset off before you drive, you noob.
Oh God, I mean,
My God.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you ever look at YouTube, you might find it. It's probably the stupidest thing you'll ever see.
It's actually
back to you guys.
Do you want to start with your next question?
Yeah, next question. How could companies make, quote, VR holidays more profitable, but at the same time affordable for the general public? For example, selling of the VR headsets around the world, marketing and creating a getaway holiday without leaving the home.
I reckon it would be it. Well, the thing is, there's this. There is already something like that already that we have. So in a lot of museums, particularly one in Mona in Tasmania, you can actually go on a virtual tour. And I suppose if you really wanted to, you could actually buy merchandise and make it profitable. Another way you could potentially do it is if you did everything by time. So at the moment, you've got this program called GeoFinder at the moment.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, and it's actually a pretty good game, actually. It costs about $4.99 if you want to pay it per month, or you can just buy it outright for the year. I can't remember how much it is per year, but you go to places, random places, and you have to basically guess where those places are, and it's built off Google Maps. If you were to make one way, you could actually potentially make money off, a virtual holiday, for example, was if you paid membership, or alternatively, if you watched a couple of ads from said country. for like an hour or so, or half an hour or so, or 15 minutes, and that would pay for your plane ticket effectively, or your illusion. So you could do it. There are ways of getting something that might seem free, but really is actually being paid via advertising. I could see that potentially happening.
I mean,
I think there's already that. I think, like you said, I think that's already available. But I think for say like a PC or a play or whatever, you know, the virtual thing, the virtual headsets and stuff like that really got to be plugged into a plug and play source. Like in this case, what I'm using right now, a PC, you'd
Mm.
plug in your virtual thing, you'd visit your link or whatever you need, whatever. It will detect whether or not you're using a virtual reality headset. So, and once that picks it up, and then you should be able to like just walk around and stuff like that, and almost feel like you're actually a part of the action. I think there's auto detect for plug and play with regarding virtual. I can't say this for 100% certainty or whatever, but I would imagine if that was me, I would have it done that way. I would make a plug and play. I would make a virtual headset, plug and play. So that way, if you visit a link and it picks up on your virtual reality, then, or the virtual reality headset, then you could just put it on and start walking around like you're part of the action. I would imagine they would charge you maybe a fraction of whatever the cost it might be,
Mm.
or maybe 1/10 of whatever the full cost would be, and you do your little virtual tour for as long as you want. And it
I mean,
doesn't overload their servers, I would imagine. I'd imagine it wouldn't overload their servers either.
for me, the way I would market it, the way I would see companies marketing it, because now we've got TVs that we can stand up or put against the wall. Imagine having a TV, and it's not just a 3D, it can be 3D or holographic, where instead of looking at the screen, the virtual reality headset holiday pops out and you can almost touch it with your hands and you put on your headset while looking at the TV, and it's sort of going brand new futuristic virtual holidays. This is what the headset looks like. This is how much it costs. This is the merchandise for it. You don't need to pay to go on a holiday. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to pack your bags. And you can actually, with the TV and your headset on, you can actually see what it looks like. And even though you can't physically feel it, it's like you're touching it. And it shows you imagery of the holiday, and you see, people laughing, swimming, dancing, eating, drinking, and it's enticing because it's a holiday package based. You're still in your house.
Especially could regulate the adult content on said holiday. So if this is a holiday for a family, okay, you could plan where said family members go. If it's just say 2 adults, you could take them to more X-rated things. If it's just for children, you could take it to more childlike things. So you could potentially have the need or the means to regulate where said age group goes, so it's not too overwhelming, or they don't go to the wrong places. So that's another thing that might be something that they could consider.
I don't know about going to a virtual adult movie or whatever. Something tells me that's just a little bit, a little bit too weird for my liking. You know what I mean?
But what if you were to basically say, if you're an adult and you go into a strip club, for example, you wouldn't want your kids going into a strip club. So you could potentially say, create programs to stop your children from going into those places.
Wouldn't that be like creating a profile? Say you enter the person's age or whatever, you're this age, and you'd get stopped at the door and just
Yeah, pretty much. And
it's like basically it's like Futurama.
Effectively, yeah, but I think you could potentially do that, because if you're going to have like a holiday to go wherever, there has to be some sort of parental controls to stop your children from going into all those places you don't want them to go.
Yeah, that's it. I agree with you, man. They need some virtual age of consent, and if you're not the age of 18, you're just going to get stopped, and you're just not going to be let in unless you know how to hack the system. Which you don't really want to do that. To me, I don't think going into a virtual adult would be, it would, even though it'd be weird, it would just be probably a little too weird for me. I don't know about you. Get a virtual massage.
Well, I don't need to get a virtual massage. I get a real massage.
That's when you're a good boy. And
Yeah.
that's all when you lose at Monopoly. Oh,
Yes.
I shouldn't have said the Monopoly. There's a story about that, guys. They know about it and they've been posting it on Facebook.
No, that's when I get sent to prison. That's when that happens.
You don't even have to roll a triple double either.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you two talking about?
Monopoly.
Okay.
And we're talking about virtual adult places to go to.
Yes. So we were talking about
Virtual massages.
virtual massages. So if we were to basically perhaps have age restrictions on, say, sending your children to particular areas in, say, Paris, for example, where they might have quote unquote adult films.
I mean, is this
Yeah.
appropriate to talk about?
Well, that's why you'd probably have like a nanny-like program to stop children from entering said buildings.
It's like that Net Nanny. You remember the Net Nanny from I think it was the, did that come out in the 90s or something?
Yeah,
The
it came out
nanny-
yeah,
Fran
Or
Drescher.
one of those things.
Net
No,
Nanny
not
came
that.
out in the 90s.
Not that Net Nanny. That's the nanny.
That's the actual.
from-
That's the real one. This is
I
the
think we're
virtual.
going
this
off
is the-
topic.
we're talking about the
No,
virtual.
you're
one. This is
going
the
off
real one.
topic. You're talking about Fran Drescher. We're actually talking about virtual nanny systems, to stop kids from visiting, those kind of
Yeah.
virtual,
sites.
virtual adult sites. There you go.
Yeah.
The thing I want to say about this is imagine putting your virtual reality headset on and you can, in your house, you could actually like push a button or press something or use your hand and tell the TV or tell the smart house, hey, take me on this virtual holiday in this country. Imagine standing in your home and you sort of
For
or sitting
20
down-
hours. And then what happens if you have to go to the bathroom or something?
Well, that's the thing. Do you basically go to the virtual bathroom in the Louvre,
No, I think what,
or do you try and find it in your own home and then realize that you're pissing in your own closet?
completely talking about this.
Boys will be boys.
Oh, virtually, of course. I hope
Yes,
so.
virtually, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get into a lot of trouble after this podcast.
Are you kidding? I love this virtual talk. I love this. What's your next question? I love it.
What's your
Great
next
fun.
question? Yeah.
Okay, it says here, currently the Mona in Tasmania offers internet viewership of its entire museum in Tasmania. Could this be a potentially new market for visiting tourist destinations virtually?
I honestly believe it can be. I mean, okay, for a start, due to COVID, we can't actually go to Tasmania. But the Mona does have a virtual tour of its museum. And this can actually create a lot of advantages, both financially and also marketably. So if you want to go see any of the pieces that are in the Mona, it wouldn't really be that hard. And if they charged you a membership fee, it would keep the museum alive effectively. And there'd be other things that they could also do if there was, if you wanted to buy, say, a poster at that of said museum, you could order said poster at their gift shop and have that poster sent to your home, to make it a bit more real kind of thing. So I think it would be a really good idea, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, if you're wondering why my screen went white just a moment ago or bright, I was actually looking at, there's actually some, as you can see right now, I'm actually on a website right now. There is some virtual tours you can actually go to in Australia right now. I'm just having a look here. You can do the Art Gallery of New South Wales. That's apparently a virtual thing. The Art Gallery of South Australia, the Australian Museum, the Australian National Surfing Museum, the Lady Elliot Island on the Great Barrier Reef. That's a virtual tour as well, apparently. Fraser Island, the Great Barrier Reef, and there is unlimited amount of virtual tours you can go to. I think this stuff is brilliant. I'm glad that they thought of this kind of stuff, but this is what it says here, best virtual tours. This is from newlywithkids.com.au. That's the site where I'm actually looking at right now. We can actually do some virtual tours. You can actually, it gives you some advice on where you can go to do some virtual tours. I think the idea of virtual tours is a tremendous idea.
Mm, mm.
And
it's-
it'll also be entertaining for the kids too. Of course, if you all have the virtual headsets and stuff like that, you can virtually look around.
mm. What do you think?
I agree.
Okay. All right. What's the next question?
Next question is, would merchandise be feasible if virtual reality holidays or virtual holidays were to take place?
Yes, absolutely. It wouldn't really be that hard to basically buy anything on a cart, because we already do that already. We already buy things off the internet already. But the potential to not only buy, okay, so just say I want to buy a cricket bat from the SCG, right? I probably won't get the real cricket bat for sure, but I could probably get a virtual cricket bat that looks exactly the same. And I could probably keep that on my virtual profile and then look at it.
No. I think the better option would be to if you wanted to order it, if you wanted to order like a cricket bat and stuff like that, then I would actually send you the cricket bat, because all you need to do is just give your address details, you pay with PayPal or whatever. I think that's the safest way to do things these days, is with PayPal. But a virtual one, I don't think a virtual one would be very, very useful, obviously, unless you want to have a screensaver or something like that. But I don't think it beats, say, having a real cricket bat. If you buy one from the Sydney Cricket Ground or whatever, you buy one, you can actually, hold when it gets delivered to you. You can actually take it out the back, or or frame it or something. Like I've got these guitars over here. I framed them. Well, they're not really framed; they're just hung up on my wall. See.
So I can see that actually working. Yeah, I don't think it, just because you're seeing something online that might be free, that doesn't mean that you can't take a souvenir of anything. I think that that's something that will continuously go.
I think souvenirs via virtual tours would be more profitable, even if you can't actually get out to where you're going. But just do a virtual tour and then just go to the souvenir shop, which is also virtual, but they will send you the real thing, because I don't see any point of them sending a virtual fake thing. It just needs to be the actual product.
It depends. I suppose it depends on what exactly the product is, and
Of course.
what it is you're wanting to buy. I mean, again, if it's a cricket bat, I can totally see that being purchased, because everyone likes cricket bats who like cricket, right? It's going to suck if you during COVID if you can't play, but your case where you've got guitars in the background that you can just hang on your wall, that's just a great idea that people could just do when they visit perhaps the opera house or something like that. So I could totally see that happening, and I don't think that would ever really hinder people from buying those items, to be honest. What's another question you got?
Is it okay if I contribute to this?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so what I think is that I do think it's feasible for merchandise, because imagine standing at home in your pajamas or something, and you put on your virtual headset, you want to go for a holiday. The merchandise is, imagine going on that holiday, and as Bucket said, being able to buy, take for example, a cricket bat or basketball. You create your avatar, you create your profile, and with that profile, you buy things that are virtualistic. And when you have your avatar, and say you want to wear your clothes in the holiday, you pick your outfit and your shoes and your hat and your sunglasses, and your shoes and things like that, and be able to wear the outfits, and it's kept on your sort of virtual holiday profile.
Your virtual profile, so you can wear it every time you go into a virtual anywhere. As for me, I would just be cheap and just go in the nutty or something, just to because I'm the kind of person that wouldn't buy virtual clothing and stuff like that,
Yeah, but I mean, you could get virtual hair. So you could get a mohawk, like a green mohawk or something like that, with the virtual avatar, for example, and you could pay for that. And there'd be a whole bunch of services that you could pay for online.
Go to a
Um,
virtual barber and pay your virtual bar. See, that's another thing, virtual, you're wasting virtual money, which is probably going to end up being real money just for a customization, That's the hairy issue there. Because
mm,
I wouldn't want to do that. Like not because I'm tired or whatever. It's just to talk about the virtual stuff, you're just wasting money for no reason.
well, okay, so for what I've heard, in order for it to be a product, um, like for a general sense, it does need to be something that's tangible in order for it to be called a product. However, if you're quote unquote selling um, something that you can't touch, that can be considered a service. So even though
Or a microtransaction.
yeah, so just say you get like a spiky haircut that's virtual and you've got green hair, and that might be actually considered a service as opposed to actually a product, even though you might pay for the haircut to be done on your avatar. So even though it might feel like a product, it's actually a service because it's non-tangible, basically. It's not something you can actually touch. Whereas if you basically buy a cricket bat, you can touch that, you can feel that, it'll be sent to your home. You can play with it. It's tangible. So, but it can still be done. It can still be done.
Next question is visiting something for free actually less or more luxurious than visiting it for real?
Well, obviously, I think it's more luxurious to actually visit the place because you're seeing it, you're looking at it, you're touching it, you're feeling, you're smelling the atmosphere and all of that goes with it. You're experiencing the culture and all of that because you're in the space of the place. As far as making something more luxurious, I suppose you could, if you basically offer more services to a product. So, for example, if you got little show bags or something like that, by paying a little bit extra money, or you got to see more locations if you got to pay for a bit more money, or you got to see those locations for a bit more time, which means it could be a timeshare, then you could make it a bit more luxurious, or even the way for which you enter said place. So I noticed that Kat basically mentioned you get on a Boeing 747 to get to your destination. What if the way for which you get there was on a cruise ship instead of a dinghy or something like that? What if they really did spruce it up and charge you for the way in which you appear to go there? They may even include a three-piece suit to make it more luxurious. So I think there are little sneaky ways to make it more luxurious. However, I don't think it's in comparison to actually something that's tangibly real. What do you think?
Well, you talk about the original question there was, is it, well, if I did a virtual tour of a place or a hotel or whatever, and say if I liked it, right, it might make me want to actually go there for real just to see if it all matches up, because that's one thing that you got to look for as well. Because if say going to a place virtually and it's this, and you go there and it's completely different, because people have a tendency to what's the word, over exaggerate what they've really got. Basically it's like Google Maps. You could be on one frame and it'd be sunlight, and you be in the next frame and it'd be dark or whatever. You got to be careful of that kind of stuff if you're going to do, like, go to a virtual hotel or whatever. it's got to, there's got to be real checks on these kind of things just to make sure it is what it is. Because if it is what it is on a virtual and it's not, you've just done your money over, and you probably won't want to, go to another place like that again.
Well, I mean, like there's
Just
a way.
stick to virtual. Yeah.
There's ways around it. So what if there's a hotel, just for instance, that has 26 rooms, right? On virtually, right? And the manager of said hotel or the programmer of said hotel basically says to you, if you want the more luxurious experience to get to the captain's corner, where you've got 29 rooms instead of 26, and they're way more luxurious, but in order to see it, you have to pay more money. That would automatically make your experience more luxurious. Or it may not be, depending on the quality of your experience. But if you kind of limit what one sees online, as opposed to showing everything, there are sneaky ways to make it appear more luxurious. That's what I'm basically getting at.
And my also, like I said, my concern is the microtransactions like that. Say if you want to see this area here, you're gonna have to give them a little bit more and a little bit more. You've got to limit. There's really got to be limitations, because it could also be a form of gambling, I suppose, without it being called gambling as well. So you're just taking a chance that this might actually be a lot better. Oh, look, there's a wardrobe over there with a pair of socks in it. You've just done another $1.69 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I definitely see that happen. But one thing I do notice, that when you mentioned the socks that might be found in a drawer or whatever, you can virtually screw them over by commenting and saying, this is shit, even with the luxurious things that I got. So you can comment on how bad something actually is, and people naturally will. So that's your preventer to go, is this really worth spending the extra $4.99 to see something that's not even real or not even there? I'll be decide of it. But you could also look at the comments to go, this is crap. And people do that with normal apps anyway, and go, yeah, this is terrible. I know, rate it.
Some people actually do that just for the sake of trolling people. See, that's another thing too. I do see a lot of reviews out there which are just trolling for the sake of trolling, because they've been told that this has happened, but the people that are voting down on these things haven't actually been there themselves. So
that is a possibility. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can see that. Next question.
Okay. If we visited other countries virtually, would we sign in as ourselves, or would we sign in as our avatars, or create an avatar?
I think it'd just be fun just to sign in as your avatar, because if you're basically going there and wanting to see for yourself everything, I mean, you may as well, like, you heard that term, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Well, if I was to go to Rome, I dress up as Caesar, as my avatar.
Dress up as Caesar.
I dress up as Caesar,
Caesar salad.
Virtually, of course. I'd just get my toga and have my gold thing that's through my hair and everything like that, and that would be my avatar. And I'd be, when I go to Rome, I'd do as the Romans do. Oh, but then again, there's lots of priests there right now, so I wouldn't want to dress up as a priest right now. But that's really Vatican City, so that's a different story. But I don't know, maybe I could dress up as a bishop. That's a bit higher ranking or something like that. Anyway, what have you got to say about that?
I think I'd like to sign in as my avatar, even though it's me. My avatar would match my personality and my attitude, and it would match my sense of humor and my playful side. And I think you could create an avatar that looks exactly like you, and to go on this holiday. And I think instead of signing in as yourself, you sign in as your avatar, and it's you, but you're able to, sort of make your avatar just like you.
So, but what would your avatar be if you were to do it?
I think I would have, I don't know, she'd be about my height, long blonde, honey caramel hair. I don't know, she'd be more sort of, I don't know.
But would you buy clothes to suit your avatar.
Absolutely.
So if there was a shop, just say we are going to say Italy, would you go into a Dolce Gabbana
No, I'm
shop and
more,
buy clothes?
no, I don't think I'd go to Dolce Gabbana shop. I think I'm more of a free spirit. I'd probably go to like flea market,
Mm.
you know, or an op shop and buy something.
Mm.
Flea markets are pretty cool. I wouldn't mind going there, buy some clothes, shoes, jewelry, headbands, things like that, handbags, and just sort of spending money in a flea market or an op shop and sort of have the sort of boho chic type of look or the modern look.
Mm.
Cat would go to the thrift shop. What? Oh, sorry. I must be thinking of that Mackle Micklemore song again. As for me, I would go, say, if I was to go to a different country, I would go as an avatar, but it would be of myself, how I would dress, nothing fancy, none of that crap. Because I'm not really a fancy bloke. I'm just plain as the day is long, I suppose. So people would know that it's me. I ain't got nothing to hide.
So you're not
Just
going to dress up
basically.
as Michael Jackson or anything like that and enter wherever you go?
No, I wouldn't do that. I
No,
wouldn't
okay.
even buy any extra skins. Screw that.
No, okay. No
I'm
worries.
cheap. I'm so cheap, man. I'm so cheap I won't even tip a canoe.
Okay. No
Last
worries.
question. What are your favorite holiday places if you are going to take a virtual holiday?
Do you know what? I'd love to go to Fiji. I'd definitely go to Fiji. That would be my ideal virtual place that I'd definitely go to. I'd just go to every pub there. I would go to see the culture there. I'd go canoeing there. I'd go to the beach there. I'd stay in all the beautiful hotels there. I'd go to Suva. Yeah, that's where I'd go. That would be my place to go if it was a virtual holiday.
If I was to go on a virtual holiday, I would go to the United States, I suppose. That would be, I guess, the place I would go to because I know my brother's been, I know my dad's from the United States. I've been to the UK, literally. I've been to, what was it, is it Greater Manchester? I think it might have been Greater Manchester or something along those lines. But anyway, I have been to the UK. That's because I know I went and saw, the street where my nan grew up on. So that just blew my mind. The one thing that blows your mind is, right, instead of having your virtual tour, like say, well, in this case, you could do your virtual tour, but one thing I noticed when I was over in the UK doing my real tour is the guttering. You know how the Australian guttering is really, really deep?
Yeah.
Say this big off the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
The UK stuff is only like half that size and it's sloped. Every street that
Wow.
I saw was sloped, but it was like half the size. So that was one thing that I got straight away. But if I was to take a virtual tour, I would take a virtual tour of the United States. There's 52 states in America or something like that. Pick a state, man. You've got plenty of states to choose from. I'm sure every one of them have got something of cultural significance that would interest me.
Where would you go?
I'd have to agree with you. I definitely want to go visit the States as I have family in the States and I have friends in the States. For me, it would have to be New York City.
New York, Big Apple.
Yeah, I'd love to go on a virtual holiday during the day to New York. I'd also love to go to New York at night. I'd love to go to LA, San Francisco. I'd love to tour all of America, especially Washington, DC. I'd love to go to Canada. I have a love for Canada. I want to go to the UK.
Something about the maple syrup, right?
No, I just love Canada. I'd love to go to the
Don't
UK.
discuss the maple syrup.
No, of course not. But I'd love to go to the UK. I'd love to go to Rome, Italy, Venice. I have family in Italy. I'd love to go to Paris. I have family in Paris. I'd love to go to Venezuela. I'd love to go to Brazil. I could go anywhere in the European vicinity of the world and just take a virtual holiday. I mean, how cool would it be to find yourself standing at St. Peter's Basilica as your avatar, and your avatar is taking pictures, and your pictures end up on your profile, and it's sort of, or you go to the beach, or you go to Dodger Stadium, or you go to the Super Bowl, or you're doing this or doing that. I think I'd love to go to some of those countries. I'd also love to go to see Buckingham Palace, maybe Kensington Palace. I'd love to sort of London Eye. I'm obsessed with Europe. Like I would love to go to Europe.
There's so many places you could go to. Just you don't have enough time just to rattle them off. So you just have to pick one, But I'm like you. I couldn't pick just one because there's so much of the world that people would want to see, and if they can't get to it in real life, go to it virtually, at least for the time being.
I think Spain would be another one. Spain,
Yeah,
Greece.
Spain. Greece would be great. Can you
Yeah.
imagine going to the Colosseums? That would be fantastic. Just going on a virtual tour there, or one place I'd actually love to go is Hong Kong. I'd love to go to Hong Kong and see what that's like. I'd love to see the markets of Hong Kong.
I'd love to go to where The Sound of Music was filmed. Some parts of it was filmed in America, but the other parts were filmed in Vienna, in Strasbourg. I would love to do the whole Sound of Music tour, even if it's on a virtual holiday. I think I'd love to see what it looks like now, and just see the world through a virtual reality headset. I think that'd be really cool.
If I had to pick another place, I'd probably love to go to Scotland and see a lot of the castles that they have there. That would actually really.
My late pop was from Scotland, so I know exactly the Scottish accent. It was a really, really strong Scottish accent.
Yeah,
You can hear what he's saying, but you're thinking to yourself, is that what he really said? Because it was such a strong Scottish accent.
I have family.
And the weird thing is, he actually married my nan, who was English. So there was an English and Scottish pick of my family. So go figure that one out.
I'd love to visit Scotland. I have family in Scotland, and also see as Bucket said, the castles. I'd love to see, William Wallace's places where he stood and where he fought and things like that. I think it'd be really, really cool.
Do you know what I actually would like to do? Can you just imagine this, right? You're going to Scotland, and for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're listening to Scotland the Brave in a kilt.
I think I'd love to go to
you're listening
Ireland.
to 500 Miles by the Proclaimers.
I think the final place I'll probably go on virtual reality is or virtual holiday is Ireland. I think Ireland's beautiful in the summertime, so I'd definitely like to take a trip to Ireland. Yeah. Well, last thoughts.
Last thoughts. I'm really, really tired, and I had a great time, but I can definitely see this happening, and I would love to go on a virtual holiday if we're stuck in lockdown for another 2 years.
I got some final thoughts too, right? I think a virtual holiday is good, but I think maybe the concerning part would be microtransactions. They start throwing in microtransactions, it would probably be less of an incentive to actually do a virtual tour if you're going to throw in microtransactions everywhere. That's my one concern about doing a virtual tour. You set yourself broke just by staying at home.
Yeah, well, I think that I'd love to go on a virtual holiday myself. I think it'll be a great experience. It'll be a great time, and certainly collect memories. And then one day when the pandemic is over, save up some money and get on a plane and go and visit these actual sites that you've gone to virtually, and really see the sites and the culture and the food and the music and the buildings and architecture. I think that'd be really cool.
Actually, Leon, I reckon I could sell that, to go broke in the comfort of your own home. What do you reckon? No,
Go broke by staying at home.
Yes.
But anyways, thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. We're also now on Spotify. Make sure you follow us there, and invite your friends to subscribe to Catspace. Don't forget to push the notification bell. That'll give you all the podcasts.
And tell us what time of avatar would you dress up, and where would you go
on a virtual holiday as well? We'd
Yeah.
love to find out. See you later. Bye.
Bye.